Squats are by far the most popular leg exercise out there. This is for good reason. No other exercise can build massive quad muscles quite like squats can. Today we're going to be fixing 5 squat mistakes most people make that prevent them from getting the most optimal gains from their squats and put them at a higher risk of injury. Stay tuned. Observe as the gym bro loads more weight than he can handle on the bar, proceeds to do the most hideous squats ever recorded on camera just so he can boast on social media that he can squat 4 or 5 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, mistake number 1 is ego lifting. Not only does it usually result in a decreased range of motion, you put yourself at a risk of a serious injury such as a herniated disc. Lifting really heavy weights is what hurt Ronnie Coleman. And while he has 8 Miss Olympia titles to show for it and no regrets, all you're gonna have is a hideous Instagram video with 33 views and a few likes from your mom and your girlfriend. What you should be doing is using weight you can squat to a proper depth with full control and proper form for at least 6 reps. This allows you to build a better mind-muscle connection with your quads and glutes and also allows for better muscle stimulation and growth. So use less weight that you can actually control and handle. Mistake number 2 is letting the knees cave inward. While this can be caused by a more complex problem such as your adductor muscles compensating for your weak quads or the natural position of your foot on the floor, something which I'll leave to the professionals to explain, the caving in of the knees can be solved by simply pointing your toes outward slightly instead of straight in front of you. This causes your knees to also point outward, making it easier to prevent them from caving in during your squat. You also want to actively focus on pushing your knees out as you come up, which prevents your knees from caving in. The third mistake is excessive buttwink. This is when your lumbar spine flexes excessively as you squat down, creating a rounded lower back. This usually happens because your hips or ankles lack the mobility to allow you to squat deeper. So your body compensates by flexing the lower back, allowing you to squat deeper, and this unfortunately puts you at a risk of injuring your back. This mistake could also be caused by a failure to properly brace your core, which does help to keep the spine neutral. To fix this problem, you want to work on your hip and ankle mobility in order to increase their range of motion. Play around with how far your feet are separated and the angle at which your toes are pointing to see which stance allows you to comfortably squat deeper, and also learn to brace your core by breathing into your stomach to increase intra-abdominal pressure before squatting. Now, we will cover these fixes in detail later on this channel, so please consider subscribing so you don't miss those videos. A little bit of buttwink is acceptable as a neutral spine is not one absolute position, but rather it's a range. So as long as your buttwink is within that natural spine range, you should be fine. Mistake number 4 is rising with your hips first. This usually happens because you're driving out of your squat using your toes, which can cause the weight to shift forward and your hips to rise first. Your back will then mostly do the work of putting the weight back to a more balanced position, resulting in your back taking on the majority of the work to move the weight instead of your quads and glutes. This forward shift of the weight can also be caused by not bracing your core properly and not keeping your chest up as you squat. A good way to fix this mistake is to ensure that the bar is in line with the middle of your foot at the beginning of the squat, something you can do by having a slight bend at the hip, ensuring that you descend into the squat with a braced core and upright chest, driving the weight up using your whole foot, not your heels or toes, and focusing on pushing using your legs by imagining pushing the ground down rather than just standing up. This should significantly fix this problem. Mistake number 5 is squatting with a partial range of motion. This can be a result of ankle and hip mobility issues as mentioned earlier, being unaware that you're not squatting deep enough, or you could be doubting your ability to come back up after squatting deeper, which usually means you are ego lifting.
What a joker!
Now, you don't have to squat ass to grass like an Olympic lifter if your bone structure does not allow that, but squatting at least to parallel is the standard. You can maybe squat slightly above parallel if you have injuries or conditions that do not allow you to go that deep. To increase your range of motion, do some ankle and hip mobility exercises, stretch your calf muscles as their tightness could be limiting your range of motion as well, stop ego lifting and squat weights that you can actually handle, and also record yourself and analyze the footage to see if you're squatting low enough, and also check for the other mistakes such as the 4 mentioned earlier. That is it for the video today. I hope this will help you to fix these mistakes and improve your squat and your leg gains. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to join the Iron Cross Fitness family, and share the video to anyone who may also benefit from this video. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or contributions, and we will be sure to respond to your input. Until next time.